A man frantically tries to escape a dense forest, but it's so thick that he can't find a way out. He keeps running, even though it's already dark. As he's running, he comes across a sign written by a fairy skeleton that says, "Point of no return," which means he can't go back. The man looks terrified when he sees the sign. As the darkness gets even deeper, all the birds fly away. There's nowhere to hide, so the man climbs a tree. Unfortunately, he falls from the high tree. Before he loses consciousness, someone pulls him up, though we don't see who it is. We only hear his painful screams. The scene shifts, and after 6 days, we see a girl named Mina in the city. Mina has no friends or family except for a sister. Her boss at the pet store where she works asks her to deliver a parrot to the zoo. Mina takes the parrot home with her because she plans to go to the zoo the next day. She spends the night with the parrot and leaves for the zoo in the morning. On the way, she accidentally takes the wrong turn and ends up in the same forest where the man disappeared. She tries to drive through the forest but gets lost. Mina decides to get out of the car, thinking she might find someone who can help her. She takes the parrot and starts walking, but the darkness grows deeper. Suddenly, just like before, all the birds flew away from the trees. Mina becomes scared as the ground begins to shake, and she feels like someone is near. She sees an old woman running away from her and chases after her, asking for help. The old woman doesn't stop and keeps running. When Mina gets too tired to continue, she stops. At that moment, the old woman calls out to her, saying, "If you want to live, run fast." Hearing this, Mina runs toward the old woman, who takes her hand and pulls inside. Once inside, the old woman locks the door. Mina soon realizes that this isn't a regular coop but a strange room with a huge mirror. There are also 2 other people with the old woman, named Ciara and Daniel. In her fear, Mina asks them what kind of place this is. They don't answer and instead tell her to stand in front of the mirror because someone is coming to see them. Mina asks, "Who is coming to see us?" The old woman, named Madeline, replies, "Watchers are coming to see us." Suddenly eerie noises start filling the room. Madeline says, "The Watchers are happy you've arrived, they are clapping for you." Mina is puzzled, as the Watchers are never shown, and neither she nor the others can see them. The night passes, and in the morning, Madeline says, "The Watchers only come out at night. During the day we can move freely in the forest." Mina, eager to leave, decides to continue forward. However, Madeline warns her, "That's not a good idea. There is no way out of this forest. We must return to this coop before nightfall. If you're late, you'll lose your life." Ignoring the warning, Mina keeps moving with her parrot. However, she fails to find a way out of the forest. Suddenly Madeline arrives, who helps her get back to the coop and encourages Mina, saying, "You're not the only one who tries to escape and fails. We've also tried and ended up stuck here, just like you. There's no way out." She then shows Mina several signboards with "Point of no return" written on them, placed in a circle within the forest. Madeline explains, "These signs are half a day's journey from our coop. If you go beyond them, it will be hard to return." That night, they return to the coop. Every night, the Watchers come to see them. Tonight, a girl named Kira dances in front of them and says she likes it here. It turns out that the 4 of them don't have to stand in front of the Watchers all the time. They can do what they want as long as they don't turn their backs on the Watchers. During the night, their main problem is the Watchers, but during the day, they face other challenges. They must hunt things in the forest each day to survive. The next day, Kira and Mina go into the forest to gather food. Mina asks Kira, "What do the Watchers want?" Kira responds, "I don't know much, but Madeline has a theory. According to her, the Watchers see us and observe us, but if we see the Watchers, we'll go crazy." Kira shows Mina a pit and explains, "There are many pits like this in the forest. The Watchers live in these pits during the day and come out at night." Mina reveals that they've been trapped here for 6 months. Kira's husband went into the forest to find a way out and she hopes he'll find a way back so they can escape. Kira's husband is the same man we saw at the beginning of the movie who was taken away. Back at the coop, Madeline explains 3 rules to Mina for staying alive. First, she must not open the door of the coop at night. Second, she must not turn her back to the mirror at night. Third, she must stay away from the pits during the day and remain in the light. That night, Mina is curious about the Watchers and tries to listen for sounds coming from the mirror. When she can't hear anything, she turns her back to the mirror. This angers the Watchers, and they start hitting the mirror forcefully, causing it to crack. The noise wakes Madeline, who tells Mina to face the mirror to calm the Watchers' anger. The night ends, and the next day, Mina goes on a hunt with Daniel. Mina doesn't want to waste any more time in the forest, so she decides to leave. She asks Daniel, "Have you ever seen a Watcher?" Daniel replies, "No." Mina then shares her suspicion. I think Madeline's stories about the Watchers are just a way to trap us. We should check those holes. Maybe there's a way out. Daniel, eager to escape, agrees. Mina ties a rope to herself and climbs into one of the holes, with Daniel holding the other end of the rope in case she needs to be pulled out. Inside the hole, Mina finds a lot of human belongings, likely from others who have been trapped in the forest. Mina collects these items, and with Daniel's help, they pull everything out. As Mina is about to climb out of the hole, she sees some fingers inside but can't make out what they are, which frightens her. They return to the coop with the items, where Madeline asks, "Where did you get this stuff?" They lie, saying they found the items in the forest. Madeline, who has been there for a long time, knows they didn't come from the forest but from the hole. She insists, "Tell me, what did you see inside the hole?" But Mina refuses to answer. Among the items they find is a camera. They converted it into a CCTV camera and set it up outside the coop to monitor the Watchers. Madeline warns them that this is a mistake, but they ignore her. That night, they waited for the Watchers to appear. Instead, they hear a knock at the door. Checking the camera, they see human legs outside and hear a voice that sounds like Kira's husband. Kira, believing her husband has found a way out, rushes to open the door. Madeline stops her, saying, "You can't open the door. I know it's not your husband outside." Kira doubts Madeline, so Madeline suggests, "You can test him. Ask him something only you or your husband would know." Kira asks the person outside about a book that only she and her husband would recognize. When the person fails to answer correctly, they realize he is a Watcher. The Watcher then destroys the camera outside. All the Watchers become enraged. They are about to break the mirror outside the coop, but instead, they all stand in front of it. After doing this, the Watchers stop attacking the mirror and don't come to kill them. That night, they experienced many terrible things. Daniel and Mina decide to confess to Madeline that they went into the pit. Madeline is furious because they broke a rule. She throws all the items they took from the pit back into it, and now Mina is forced to stay in the coop despite her desire to leave. As time passes, winter arrives and they remain trapped. Mina continues her daily search for an escape but is unsuccessful. She has created a map, and she believes that one day she will complete it. Due to the harsh winter, they struggle to find food and their mental state deteriorates. During this period, tensions rise between Madeline and Daniel. In a fit of anger, Daniel locks Madeline and Mina outside and takes Kira into the coop, securing the door. As darkness falls, Madeline and Mina knock on the door and plead for Daniel to let them in, but he refuses. They are forced to take refuge under a dense tree to avoid the Watchers. They hear the Watchers' voices. At this point, the audience also glimpses the Watchers, along with Mina and Madeline. The Watchers are tall, thin and menacing. They emerge from their pits and approach the coop to investigate the humans. When they don't find Mina and Madeline, they begin searching the forest. As the Watchers move further away, Mina and Madeline seize the opportunity to return to the coop. They knock urgently on the door, and Daniel eventually lets them in. They are visibly shaken from their encounter with the Watchers. Madeline then reveals, "I lied about being stuck here. I actually came here to find these creatures. I read in books that they are fairies, but when I saw them, I realized they are monsters as well as highly intelligent. They can change their appearance. One of them took my form, with disheveled hair and dark circles under its eyes. From their behavior, I guess they learn to mimic us better every day, which is why they come and observe us." During their conversation, there is another knock at the door. The creatures are imitating their voices and trying to get inside. Although they can't open the door, the creatures have enough power to break it down. They need to hide but can't figure out where. Suddenly, Daniel notices that the ground is uneven. When he removes the carpet, he discovers a hidden bunker. They quickly move into the bunker and seal it. They are astonished to find that the bunker has been there for a long time and was previously undiscovered. It is well stocked with food, technology, TVs, and other supplies for an extended period. Mina wants to know who built the bunker, so she turns on the computer. While there is no internet connection, there is saved data. Upon opening it, they learn that Dr. Martin built the bunker. The professor was aware of the creatures and wanted to study them, which is why he created the bunker. He would lure humans with promises of money, then leave them in the forest while hiding in the bunker at night. The monsters would eventually find and eat the humans. Dr. Martin's research reveals that the creatures are not truly monsters but fairies who once lived among humans. However, they had deceived and trapped humans in the forest. Over the years of living underground, they lost their magic and feathers. Martin also discovered a different type of fairy that could emerge from the holes even in daylight. This fairy was kind and did not harm Martin, so he brought her into the bunker. Although this fairy learned much from Martin, they eventually fell out. The computer contains many videos, with Martin explaining various things in each one. Mina, eager to know what happened in the end, plays the last video. In it, she sees the professor preparing to kill himself and the fairy. Before dying, he reveals how those trapped in the forest can escape. If they run in the direction where the birds fly in the evening, they can find a way out. He also instructs that if anyone manages to escape, they should go to the university and destroy his research. Some secrets should remain secrets, he says. The group spends the night in the bunker. The next morning, they emerge to find that the Watchers have destroyed their coop. They head towards the forest exit, following the direction of the birds flying in the evening. To make their way easier, Mina releases the parrot she had. Along the way they discover a big stone. Madeline explains that there was a time when fairies lived with humans, but the humans cursed them and imprisoned them in the forest. The fairies have lost their feathers and magic, they can no longer escape. They find a stream and realize it could be their escape route. As evening approaches, the Watchers begin to emerge from their holes. While crossing the stream, Daniel encounters his injured companion, John. Daniel goes to help him while the others wait in the boat. However, before Daniel returns, they discover that the person Daniel was helping is not human, but a fairy disguised as John. This fairy then takes on Daniel's appearance and kills him, leaving a mark on his forehead. The group learns that fairies cannot cross the stream and finally makes it to the city. After a few days, Mina goes to Martin's university to destroy his research. Before deleting the data, she uncovers that, thousands of years ago, humans and fairies lived together, even marrying and having children known as hybrids. To her shock, she also discovers that Madeline, whom she met in the forest, was actually Professor Martin's wife. Mina is left confused and questions why Madeline never revealed this to her. To discuss the recent revelations, Mina approaches Kira and says, Madeline, whom we met in the forest, was actually Professor Martin's wife, but she didn't tell us because she wasn't human. She was a fairy who could change her appearance. Kira is astonished by this news. Mina explains that Professor Martin's wife, Madeline, had died from lung cancer many years ago. The professor loved her deeply and wanted to be with her again. When he discovered the fairies, he made one of them look like his deceased wife by showing her Madeline's picture. As Mina is recounting this story, she suddenly realizes that she is speaking to Madeline, not Kira. The fairy disguised as Kira knocks the real Kira unconscious when she arrives. The fairy then prepares to attack Mina to keep her secret. Before killing Mina, she says, I was different from the other fairies, and they made fun of me. I can come out in daylight, which is why they threw me out in their anger. Mina responds, you weren't just different, you were special. You're a hybrid, half human and half fairy. That's why you could live with both humans and fairies, and that's how you managed to escape the forest. As Mina speaks, the fairy Madeline regains her feathers and magic. She then flies away, leaving Mina behind. 2 weeks later, Mina moves in with her sister, still haunted by the events in the forest. She tells her sister, I think that fairy is still chasing me. Her sister tries to reassure her, saying, don't worry, nothing will happen. In the final scene, a girl is shown standing outside Mina's house. It's revealed that she is the fairy Madeline, now living among humans as a girl, and the story ends. If you want more recap videos, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss out. Thanks for watching.